Well, the reason I mentioned this was because this happened on the same day that you were filming for The Chi.
Right.
And Ayanna Floyd David, who I guess was a showrunner on the show, saw that you were upset and spoke to you that day. Right. Tell me about that conversation.
She came to me and asked me if I was okay, you know. And I don't know if it, you know, like for those who watch The Chi, right? Like my character Brandon could never really catch a break, you know, but I have this ability to be able to go through really tough scenes and then be laughing in the next room. You know what I mean? It's almost like this therapy that I have going on. But on this day in particular, I just couldn't shake it. You know, like even in between takes, like the tears were still coming and all of that stuff. Like I was a mess, you know, because that had happened late that night. And then when I woke up the next day, I found out, you know what I mean? And I had to go to work with that on my mind. And everybody knew. So she comes to me and she's like, you know, are you okay? And I'm just like, no, I'm just shaking my head. No, like I'm not. And as I'm coming past Video Village, she says in front of everybody, like, yo, I know, you know, that your friend just got killed and, you know, we just don't want you to go home and self-medicate. And I was like, what? That was weird. You know what I mean? Because, like, I felt like, I don't know, she had never seen me under the influence of drugs or alcohol or anything like that. So I was like, this was just a really odd statement to make. But instead of saying anything, you know, I called Lena and I told her about it. You know what I mean? And I was like, I feel like somebody other than her needs to have, well, other than me needs to have a conversation with her because I felt super offended. You know what I mean? And I was like, why would you do or say anything like that to me? You know? And yeah, as a result, it ended up turning into something like completely different, you know? And Ayanna kind of thought that I had a personal vendetta against her and ended up taking that to the authorities, but I didn't. You know what I mean? And the thing about HR situations is that, like, you're never going to know the source. You're never going to know the real story. Because when they do an investigation, like, literally one of the rules is not to talk about it. You can't talk about it with anybody. So, you know, I don't know if it was Lena or, you know, somebody Lena might have told that went to HR and had this conversation about, you know, what Ayanna had said to me. But as a result, Ayanna came back to me with a lot of bass in her voice, you know what I mean? And it was a conversation that sort of got heated because in her mind, she thinking I snitched on her, you know what I mean? But I'm like, you know my background better than that. Like I ain't got that even in my blood, you know? But as a result, she ended up getting fired for that. And yeah. And I can only imagine that, you know, she might have felt like me and Lena conspired to get her fired or some bullshit. I don't know. But she kind of brought that on herself. I ain't really had nothing to do with that. I can't fire you. I don't even have that kind of yank. You know what I mean? Like that's all above my head. So, you know, it's kind of an unfortunate situation. You know, we see this in the Black community all the time, that people just can't keep it professional and just work together or talk through their problems or whatever it may be. You know, you see a lot of this bickering going back and forth, and it was just an unfortunate situation because at the end of the day, we all ended up losing.
Right. Well, let me make sure I have the timeline right of what exactly happened. So that happened, right? I think you went to HR to talk about it, or no?
I didn't.
You didn't. Okay, so Lena went to HR to talk about it, and Ayanna ended up getting fired over that situation.
Well, after Ayanna found out that she was under investigation, I guess she just assumed I did it. So she came to me and was like, Jason, you could have fucking told me that you were gonna go to HR. And like I was like, what? Like I didn't go to HR, but that got back to HR, that she came back to me and it was like, you know, it's some sort of no retaliation thing. I forget exactly what it's called, but basically it's like retaliation, you know, and she came back to me with this attitude and that ultimately got her fired.
Okay, so that happens on The Chi. And not too long after, you were in the process of filming Desperados for Netflix.
Right.
And a situation happened with a co-star of yours.
Right.
Can you talk about that?
Well, a young lady that, you know, was part of the cast, she ended up getting drunk, and I had her call her boyfriend to like make sure she got home safely. And I think that he was under the impression that that she liked me, or, you know, like he was really upset that she was out, you know, with me at the time. And you know, as much as I stressed to him, like, bro, I'm just trying to do, you know, what a good friend does, he actually took it upon himself to report me to HR. And at the time, I didn't understand the concept of somebody who didn't work with us being able to report me to my job. I didn't even understand that concept, right? So you know, like I said, we had called him before, so I had his number. So I called him and I was like, you know, I was upset. You know what I mean? I was really upset that he felt like, I don't know if he felt like I was lying to him, or if we was lying to him, or his girl was trying to cheat. I don't know what he was thinking, but I felt like he knew for a fact that I did the right thing as a friend on that day. Like, why would you try to create turmoil for this, right? And then like 15 minutes later, my agent calls me and he's like, Jason, you're just making it worse. And I was like, making what worse? This guy doesn't even work with us. How am I about to get fired from a job that, you know what I'm saying? Like, to me, the concept just didn't make sense. I couldn't grasp it. And it just made me so fucking upset, man. I was like, what is happening to me right now? Like, you know what I mean? Just because it's this white guy telling you that I was with his girlfriend while she was drunk, now all of a sudden it's a problem? Like, he doesn't even work with us. You know what I mean? Like, what's happening right now? This is just her boyfriend, you know? And, you know, as a result, they were just like, yo, we're not gonna, you know, we're never gonna blame anything on you or say this or that. But at this point, you know, we think you should just go your separate way. You know, we'll still pay you. We'll do all of that. And, you know, we'll see you on the next project, you know, but no press is gonna come out about this. Like, they ensured me that everything would be cool, right? So Ayanna Floyd Davis gets wind of this situation and decides to take it upon herself to just make up a story, you know? Everything that she said was false, and I stand on it in court. You know what I mean? Everybody around her and everybody who was on the Shy knows that what she said was completely false. But she wanted to make me and Lena look bad. But unfortunately for me, you know, I'm the one who took the bullet. You know what I mean? So it is what it is, you know? But I really think that she wanted both me and Lena to lose where we were, because, I mean, let's be honest, like, she probably hasn't worked since then. Like, I don't know. I don't Google her, and I don't wish no bad on her, but I'm more than sure that people don't want her around because she caused problems, you know?
Well, right. I guess around that time, Disney bought Showtime.
Right.
So once, you know, the Desperados situation happened, and then, you know, Ayanna brought back these allegations, then suddenly you had a whole new investigation about you.
Right.
And now it's happening in your other show, The Shy.
Right.
And now it's, you know, and I guess the part I don't quite understand is that when you look it up, it's sexual misconduct allegations.
Right.
But from everything that I've seen you talk about, there was no sexual misconduct. It was some arguments or whatever else, but there was no sexual part to it.
Right. You know what's crazy, right? Is because, like, I don't read the media, whether it be good or bad. I just don't, because I feel like I need to stay level-headed. And, you know, I've met some actors who, in my opinion, have become assholes because they're getting big-headed because of what people have said about them. So whether it's good or bad, I don't read the media, right? But I remember my publicist calling me saying, you know, they're saying it's just some allegations, but there's nothing sexual involved, right? And I was like, all right, well, I guess I can handle that because, I mean, it is what it is. Because at the end of the day, if you look, I mean, the only thing that you're gonna find to actually know the real Jason Mitchell may potentially be this situation that happened with Delta, right? Which was, something like I said, I really, really wish I could take back, but I was so hurt in that moment that I got emotional. So, they're gonna say, okay, Jason is an aggressive guy, and this is why, because of this video that happened. But at the end of the day, bro, at the beginning of the day, like, I'm a daughter of two. I mean, I'm not a daughter of two. I have two daughters. I have a beautiful mother. I have a sister who played a lot in raising me. Like, as you know, my dad killed himself when I was 15. So all I know is women and how to respect women and what I want for my daughters and all of that. So to see the media go from just misconduct to sexual allegations without anybody knowing the story or anybody making a statement, like, it really hurt. Like, you know what I mean? And then you got this publicist who's on side of you saying, just be quiet. Just be quiet. Just keep quiet about everything. Because, on the day, I'm thinking, nah, like, let's talk about this. Let's put the real story out there. Because, I could take responsibility and I can be held accountable for what I did, but I didn't do that. You know what I mean? And I've constantly heard story after story after story, and I'm like, this is getting kind of crazy. You know what I mean? And I felt helpless for a minute. Like, I didn't know what to do, but all I could do was count on my moments with people and my actual, personal Jason Mitchell experiences with people to outweigh that. Because anybody who has been in the room with me or anybody who has ever been around me, know. You know what I mean? Maybe, if I did something or made somebody feel some kind of way, because at the end of the day, I am from New Orleans. You know what I mean? So if I ever did something or said something to somebody to make them uncomfortable, like, I definitely apologize for that. But as far as like sexually harassing somebody or whatever the story is out there that they're saying, I'm just not that person. And it really bothers me that the media would try to paint me as a monster. You know what I mean? Because I'm definitely not that. Like, that's not who I am.